Taos is a historic village located in the north-central region of New Mexico in the Sangre de Cristo Mountains with a population of just under 6,000 people. This town has a very rich history. I spent a few days here in Taos this past October, and in this video, I'm going to share with you 10 things to do when visiting Taos, New Mexico. On the southern side of town, you can find San Francisco de Asis Church. This church has been around for 200 years. This is a historical gem here in the Taos area. It is hidden, kind of facing the back side of it is facing the main road, very close to where the high road of Taos, the high road to Taos connects to the low road to Taos, right on the southern end of town. So be sure and stop here. They say there is a historical painting inside that used to be somewhat mysterious, that when it was dark in the church that it would light up naturally, and it has since been protected and it's not out for general display. I'm going to go in to see if I can take a look, but I bet you they're not going to let me film it. This church is real authentic adobe on the outside. You can actually see the straw in the mud on the outside, and what I was reading is that once a year volunteers come and help redo the adobe. So inside commercial photography isn't allowed, and they do ask that you wear your masks, so I was respectful, but this is a true gem of the historic architecture as well in the area. Look what a beautiful morning we have. I just finished my breakfast here at the coffee shop at the Taos Valley Lodge, and I'm going to head into the plaza for the day. This is one of the top things, of course, you have to see when visiting Taos. The Taos Plaza once was a Spanish fortified wall plaza with houses and businesses, and now it has a park with shady trees, benches, and a gazebo. In 1861, during the Civil War, Southern sympathizers repeatedly tore down the U.S. flag. Captain Smith Simpson, with the help of Kit Carson, guarded the flag 24 hours a day. U.S. Congress has permitted Taos to fly this flag 24/7 to commemorate this event. Surrounding the Plaza Park are plenty of shops to choose from, and again, come early. I was surprised with the plethora of tour buses that came here later in the afternoon. Taos does have several free parking lots, so just keep an eye out for them. I'll try to attach a map right here and show you where they're at. During high touristy season times, I'd recommend coming early if you want to try to find free parking. Be sure and explore some of the back streets behind the plaza, with many other shops, galleries, and museums in the area. And please note, clean free restrooms are just behind the plaza to the north. Next up is Bent Street, which is just a couple streets north of the plaza. This is a historic residential street with beautiful shops and galleries named after Charles Bent, who was New Mexico's first territorial governor in 1846. So here's the Governor Bent Museum. Folks at the museum and gift shop have stepped out just for a few minutes, so I'm going to skip that attraction today. This place behind me, the Earth Spirit Gallery, they have 3D paintings. You go in, they give you 3D glasses, and they are really, really cool. So this is at the end of Bent Street. Not at the end of Bent Street, but you kind of come down to where it looks like a dead end. That's where you're going to find this gallery. And then there's a chocolate and cashmere place right next door. I've never seen that combination of goods. And now we're going to explore the John Dunn shops. This cute little area links the Taos Plaza to Bent Street and has 18 unique shops and restaurants. It is 12:30 and the parking lot is now full, so keep in mind, get here early. Now we're going to explore some of the history of Taos, starting on Kit Carson Road at the Kit Carson Museum. Kit Carson was a fur trapper, wilderness guide, Native American agent, and U.S. Army officer. It's $10 to tour the property. We're going to start with a 20-minute video, and then you can go over to the house. His fearlessness, combat skills, and tenacity had a profound effect on the westward expansion of the United States. He established his permanent residence in Taos in the early 1840s, and this is where he lived. So the original Kit Carson home was these 3 rooms of this portion of the home that faces the main street. And Kit Carson, his wife Josephina, and his 7 children lived in that 3-room house. I highly recommend the book Blood and Thunder by Hampton Sides. For someone who is not a history buff and not very well read, this was the most fascinating story of Kit Carson. I am looking to find the Kit Carson Historical Cemetery, so I came into Kit Carson Park. I know I followed Google Maps to the cemetery, and it took me down a one-way road with a dead end with no place to park. So instead, I came in the entrance to Kit Carson Park. It's a beautiful, sprawling park. There's baseball fields. In fact, there was a concert I went to years ago at this park, so it's kind of a main center here for community activities. And I'm going to see if I can find a back way into this historical cemetery. Now, this is the little road I tried to come up to park here for the cemetery, but there was no parking. So to get here, you're going to have to park at the Kit Carson Park. This is considered Kit Carson Memorial State Park. Dogs are allowed. Clean up after your pet. He was only 59 years old when he died, and what a life he led up until that point. I see somebody has opened up and come inside here. It's his family, his mother. Here's a summary of the battle at Turley Mill. But a lot of notable people in the history and the making of the area of Taos can be found here in this cemetery. Antonio Jose Martinez was one of the major religious leaders in Taos in northern New Mexico. Mabel Dodge Lujan is buried here. Now, she has a historic property here in town that's supposed to be haunted. This is where she's buried. Now, Mabel is famous for bringing the art community to life here in Taos, and Taos is a huge art community with art galleries and a lot of notable artists in the area. And it remains to this day an art mecca in the Southwest. Hacienda de los Martinez Museum. What an absolutely beautiful property. This museum is one of the last remaining houses that is the late Spanish colonial period, still preserved here in the Taos area. This was a massive trade center for the northern boundary of the Spanish Empire. It was built in 1804. This hacienda has 21 rooms, and it takes you back in time to the rugged frontiers of the early 1800s. The adobe insulates quite well. It's pretty cold out, and it's comfortable temperature inside. This room gives an idea of some of the things that they used to trade. So this is interesting. They would have a fire pit in the corner, and then they would take their coals and they would spread it out underneath their pots on this lower level shelf. And then this upper level was a nice warm place to sleep, heated by the coals from the cooking food. It's ingenious. So my next favorite place to stop is the Rio Grande Gorge Bridge. The Rio Grande Gorge Bridge is just 11 miles northwest of Taos. This is an absolute must-see. I recently did a full-length video on this location. For more information, check out the link in the description below. So I got my second wind after that amazing coffee at the coffee shop at the Taos Valley Lodge. And I've decided, since the weather is so beautiful and the leaves are so beautiful, that I'm going to go ahead and drive the Enchanted Circle. Now this is one of the top activities to do up here in this area. You can make a circle from Taos, going through the beautiful Carson National Forest, through Eagle's Nest, and near Angel Fire, and then up to Red River and back around through Cuesta and back to Taos. Should take me a couple of hours. And I grabbed a little bite to eat from the grocery store because it's late afternoon, but the lighting and the leaves are so incredibly beautiful. I couldn't pass it up. I didn't think I had enough time for it, but I'm going to try to squeeze it in this evening. Now, I've made this drive before, and I don't remember seeing this. Eagle Rock Lake. It is gorgeous. This is a day use area. It'd be great if you were like camping in the area to come down here and do some fishing during the day, but it is so beautiful. Most notably, Taos is home to the Taos Pueblo, which is a living Native American community. The multi-storied adobe buildings in the Taos Pueblo have been continuously inhabited for over 1,000 years, and this is designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This is the oldest continuously inhabited community in the United States. In order to protect their people, the Pueblo is currently closed to visitors until further notice due to the pandemic. As an alternate, why don't you check out Taos Ski Valley for either skiing or hiking? Let me know what your favorite thing is to do in Taos. Thanks for watching.